they can't access the books.
But Muhammad,
they can't not access the books.
All I said was the argument you presented is exactly the same argument that this one has.
I think
it's
we
not.
should just.
All right. Anyway, we can have this discussion.
Yeah. So
thank you for that.
Sorry. Do we have free will? Do we have free will? Do we have free will?
Yeah, we do. But
you made a very important point. So we are not necessary. We are contingent. So there's a cause.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
So it's as a result of cause and effect. So he made a good point about everything determined by necessary, which leads like a domino. So when you kick up the first one, everything goes. So do we have free will?
Yeah, let me explain. So we believe in compatibilism, right?
Okay. Compatibilism.
Yeah, so atheists, Muslims, Jews and Christians have struggled with the question. Everyone has struggled with the question, okay? And this is not a Muslim specific issue. Because the question is, if everything is determined, how is there free will?
Or even if everything's contingent, there's
no, that's different.
No, everything's contingent.
That's another question. No, it's not the same. Contingency and determinism are different. But I get your point. They're two different questions. Thank you, bro. What I'm saying to you is simple. The question that people ask is that if everything is written or if everything is determined, then how comes we have the choice to do whatever we want? Yeah? Now that question is not a question that Muslims only ask. Christians ask the same question. Jews ask the same question. And by the way, atheists ask the same question as well. Now obviously they don't say that everything is written. But in philosophy you have two schools of thought. In philosophy you have two or three schools of thought, main schools of thought. One of them is called hard determinism. So hard determinism is you believe that everything is you have no choice in the matter, basically, right? Everything is determined for you. Now,
not determined for you is that it is continued on the past. So it's not like necessarily that there's a final design. It's just that everything comes from the past.
Yes. So you have no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Right. So in things like there's no choice. There is no free will.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have libertarians. Now, obviously, it's not a philosophical, political philosophy thing. Libertarians in this context are people who believe that we have free will and there is no determinism, right? In the middle, we have a group of people called compatibilists, who affirm, and this is in philosophy, right? Atheists believe in this. Yeah, that affirm the first person experience of having
the illusion of free will.
You have free will as an experience, but that's only in the context of determinism, right? So it's kind of like a mix of both, and lots of scholars have different views on it. Now, in Islam, we are compatibilists in that sense, in our own way. So in other words, we say that we do have free will, and there's a beautiful poem, I think it's from Al-Ghazali. He says, I'm going to say in Arabic and then translate it. وَمِنْ عَجَائِبِ الْجَبَّارِ أَنْ يَجْبُرُ الْعِبَادِ بِالْإِخْتِيَارِ. And from the wonders of the compeller, and the compeller here is God, yeah? Okay. That he compels the creation to be free-willed. One more time.
No, got it.
Right, you got it? No, just for the people. وَمِنْ عَجَائِبِ الْجَبَّارِ أَنْ يَجْبُرُ الْعِبَادِ بِالْإِخْتِيَارِ. And from the wonders of the compeller is that he compels the creation into free will, right? So into choice. Now the point is, there is no contradiction, according to us, with the fact that God is the determiner of things, but He allows certain segment of His creation, human beings and jinn and so on, to have their own choice, because that's all predicated or in the context of His determining it. That's why the Quran says, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ, that you will not have any will except that God has the will first. In other words, God is the ultimate willer. So if it wasn't for, that's why we say inshallah. If you ever meet a Muslim, you say, okay, inshallah, I'll go tomorrow. So if God willing, right? Because everything is determined by God. Now I would ask the atheist the question, that because a determinist atheist believes in determinism. Like I had a discussion with some atheist, young guy, and he said that he believes in determinism. But we're saying, who's the determiner then? Right? Because if you believe in determinism, what determined the thing? Who or what?
Well, it goes back to contingency.
Right. So we say that's a necessary being.
Yeah. But that doesn't quite argue the issue around
answer the question.
The fact
which
that Muhammad could only have done what he did because it was written in the Quran or it was recited.
No. But so you're asking a question of now determinism versus free will.
Well,
So that's a question. I don't know why you're making that Muslim specific. That's a question that all philosophers are dealing with.
I know it's a broader.
Right. So I'm just giving you my position on it. My position.
I'm arguing the fact that
it's different when you it's different when you have predestination as well.
No, that's the thing. As an atheists have predestination as well. They have determinism.
No,
it's the equivalent. No, it is the equivalent.
Well, what do you mean by determinism?
Well, let me be clear. I've just said this before you came here.
Sorry.
Right. But let me say it again. If you go online now and write hard determinism, right, as a philosophical school of thought, which is outside of any theology, you can be an atheist and believe in that. Everything literally is determined. You believe everything is determined. In other words, you don't have any free will, right? That's the belief. All right, so
that means it can mean something different in physics, though, like determinism.
No, but this is a view atheists hold.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very common view.
I mean, I'm less interested in what atheist philosophers say about the universe, and
what I'm saying is
physicists say about the universe.
No, that's up to you, bro. Because that's up to you. There are a lot of physicists that are hard determinists as well, if you want.
I mean,
yeah.
So the problem with that is that, like, if you look at quantum mechanics and like kind of particles don't behave in a deterministic way. Like there, for example, there's Bell's inequalities.
No, they would disagree. A determinist would disagree with you on that.
But what evidence do they have for that, though?
They'll say that everything follows a causal chain, and that causal chain is uninterrupted, and that there is an inevitability in things that will come in the future because of the events that came in the past, and therefore there's a determinism.
But also from a very personal
right. So that's what an atheist is. Look, bro, you're not arguing against me. I'm not a determinist. I'm a compatibilist. Okay, go and have an argument with a determinist.
From that deterministic basis, even on a personal basis, regarding to the illusion of free will, is that you can't decide which thought emerges from your mind, and you can't decide which thought you believe. So you are being ruled by a set of thoughts that emerge from your mind, and by a set of contingent beliefs that are really out of your control, and it's the illusion of free choice.
Right, so you're calling it the illusion of free choice. We would say that the necessary existence, or the determiner, if you like, because one of God's attributes is that He determines things. Yeah? He determines things. Right, so God is the owner of determination, right? الذي قدر فهدى. He's the one who literally, and this is not, by the way, determination, but the point is he proportioned things and then he allowed things to go. Here قدر means proportion, not determined. Yeah, but the al-qada wal-qada, which is something different in Arabic, which means that the idea of determination is something which belongs to God, right? So He does that. From our perspective, we believe in that. We believe that God is in control of everything. However, we also believe that since He's in control of everything and He determines everything, He can also determine for human beings that they have free choice.
Yes, but even in this moment, you can't even kind of prove that you have free choice.
No, it's self-evident for me, right? So as an experience, as first person,
I would challenge that, but yeah.
No, do you not feel it? Do you feel like you're in control of your life? You might feel like, okay, I want to have cherry rather than chocolate, right? You don't feel like that?
No, that's not my choice, is it? It's
no.
my condition.
I appreciate. No, that's a philosophical answer. I'm telling you, I'm talking to you from an intuitive perspective. Yeah. Don't say illusion.
It's the illusion.
You feel as if, from a first-person perspective, right now, that you can leave this conversation and go if you wanted to, right?
That's not the issue. That's not how you would define free will or free choice at all.
No, I'm not saying that's how you define it. But I'm just saying that
it's common. Isn't it, that people feel they have free choice. So
no problem.
So that's the argument.
Yeah. So from our perspective, we actually make sense of compatibilism through the following. We say that since it doesn't contradict any of God's attributes. Now, the question is, can God allow for a situation where He's determining everything, but allowing? So in other words, is the coexistence? Let me put it this way: is the coexistence of godly determinism and human free will against any of God's attributes?
I couldn't answer.
Right. So if the answer is no, if it's against, pardon?
It's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, it's beyond our comprehension. We don't know how it works, but no, it's not,
you've got a framework that you're trying to explain to me, and I want to hear it.
No, but everyone is saying that. Atheists are saying this. This is something that no one knows how it works. That's the reality. No one knows how it works. Atheists, Christians, Muslims, Jews, everyone. So there's no solution anywhere. You're always going to have the issue of, okay, this is determinism and this is free will. Either it comes together or it doesn't. So here's the thing. It says, first of all, we have to really separate this. This is make this bold. This is not a Muslim particular issue.
I didn't say that.
No, just clear. You're asking me from my perspective, from a theological perspective, we believe in compatibilism, and we have a reason for believing that.
So it's like 50% free will and 50% determinism.
No. It's 100% determined. 100. No. Doesn't work like that.
Tell us.
It doesn't work like that. God determined everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Every thought, every choice.
Everything.
Okay.
Yes. And in that, He allows human beings to be free in their choice. Now, how? The question is how. No one knows how. No one knows how. Okay. But hold on. Atheists don't know how.
Okay.
Jews don't know how. Christians don't know how.
Fine,
wait.
The howness is not defined.
But I think there is a way of, so if that were true, if it was absolutely true that somehow, there's a slightly tricky argument, that everything is determined, but also that Allah says, you are also determined to have free will. Michael, you can have free will.
Yes.
Everything else. But everything else is determined, but you can be free. Well, that's tough, right, in itself. And also, if you could prove to me that you genuinely have free will, then that would be part of the argument. But I think, as you know, from a philosophical point of view,
you can't
actually prove.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't. You can only do it through intuition. There's only one way.
And I think that's
and epistemologically, it's not pure, because that's how we find out how we exist. As people. No, it's not poor. As individuals, I know of my own existence not through verificationism, falsificationism, or through scientific experimentation. I know I exist because I feel that I exist. In the same exact way as I feel that I exist, I feel like I have a choice of having a conversation with you or walking away. That's experiential. You can't negate that. You can't just say, okay, well, because if you negate that, if you say that, well, actually, I'm going to negate the fact that you feel in that way. Hold on. Then you can also negate the fact that I say that I think therefore I am.
Yeah. I know, but that's not quite the point that I'm saying. So if you could demonstrate to me that you can choose what you believe, then that would demonstrate.
No, I'm not saying I can demonstrate. I'm not saying I can demonstrate that.
If you could,
yes,
then I would be impressed.
No, I'm not.
That you could just decide what you believe.
Perfect. No.
Free will.
Yes.
Using your God-given free will.
Yes.
That you could decide
You're right.
what you believe.
That's a legitimate interrogation. What you're saying is, you can't demonstrate that free will exists in the real world.
Not even right now.
Yeah. You're right. You can't. You cannot.
Why is that?
You cannot demonstrate on a third-person level that free will exists. You can only do so on a first-person level.
I'm not talking about
So
theoretically. I'm talking about empirically.
I agree with you. Yeah. Empirically, but you can't even demonstrate. Empirically, there's lots of things you can't demonstrate, right? In mathematics being one of them. But what I'm saying is that on the level of demonstration, on a third-person level, it's undemonstratable.
Can I just ask
you're right about that. So it's first person. But what I would say is that there's no reason for us to give third person verificationism or falsificationism any more or less value than first person falsification. Because you know why? Or expression. Because you know why? Actually, you could argue that the basis of all other philosophical investigation starts with first person inquiry. And that's the understanding that we exist. Now that comes by the way, we prove that we exist through first-person discovery. We know that we exist through first-person understanding. We don't know that we exist from third-person demonstration. So in the same way as we don't do that through third-person demonstration, what I'm saying is that free will is something you cannot negate. It's unnegatable, but it's also unfalsifiable. So it's unscientific. So because it's unscientific, you can't deal with it. It's metaphysical. And because it's metaphysical, we say that you cannot be guided on it, and that's why we follow revelation on the matter. So, okay, there's three schools of thought. The school of thought of hard determinism, compatibilism, and what do you call it, libertarianism. We take now how do we differentiate? Because we can't prove anything.
Okay, so,
how do we know that compatibilism is true? Because
so you take the scriptural kind of understanding of
it. And that scriptural understanding doesn't negate the fundamentals, attributes of God, being omnipotent. In fact, here's the thing. It's impossible to have an omnipotent God or an all-powerful God at all times and all places unless he's in control of everything. and determines everything. It's impossible. You can't say that you believe in a God that is all powerful unless he's in determination of everything. He determines everything.
Well,
so in other words,
he could decide to say, I'm not going to determine anything within this reality.
No. If he decides that, then he ceases to be God.
Ah, well, that's another issue. But
No, he does. He stops being God.
Can I just ask you?
Because if God decides to be a man, then he doesn't become God anymore.
So going back to the personal, and I just want to just check in that.
Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to check in that I think you're going to agree, but
Yes,
I just want to double check, is that you don't have choice about what you believe. Is that true?
No, I believe I have choice, but that choice was ceded to me by the determiner, right?
So you have choice given to you by Allah.
Yes.
Great.
But who's the ultimate determiner?
Sure.
Yeah.
So now what I'd like you to demonstrate is you changing your belief back and forward from one belief to the opposite about anything. So one of the beliefs that I think Hamza says about you believe your father is your father, yeah? You don't know your father is your father. So do you believe your father is your father?
Yeah.
Okay. Now just show me that you can change that belief just for 2 seconds that your father isn't your father. And if you can do that to me, then you've proven to
Let's do it with your father.
No.
Let's do it with your father.
That's a valid question.
Sorry, what's the question?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So you believe that your father is your father?
With the evidence that we have at the moment.
No, it's your belief. It doesn't matter about them. So
no, it does matter about the evidence.
No.
I only know that because he was in the household and he looks like me a bit. He's got the same feet as well.
Sure. Well, I mean, let's not get diverted because it is a serious question. You believe that your father is your father, and you have told me that you have God-given free choice, and you have the choice to believe that your father isn't your father. So I'd like you, even for 2 seconds, to believe that your father isn't your father.
Let's do that with your father, if that's all right.
No. You don't, what are we talking about? My father? I'm talking about.
Can we say someone else's father? Someone else's father. I don't want to do that.
Okay. Let's do a different subject. Where were you born?
London, St Mary's.
Okay, so can you believe for 2 seconds that you were born in Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay. Oh, but you mean believe actually
believe, yeah. Actually believe.
You have to give me some drugs first.
No, come on. You're telling me don't use your God-given choice.
Oh, you mean, right.
You're going to choose
I get
to
your
believe
point.
that you're in
Yeah.
You can't go against the...
No. You choose that you believe.
I get the point. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I get what your point. I thought you were asking a question.
Your God-given choice. Your God-given choice. Don't let Allah down.
I'll tell you where that happens.
You can believe for 2 seconds that you were born in Edinburgh.
It happens sometimes, bro. Like,
no. I'm not talking about happening. I'm talking about now doing it now.
I can't do it now.
You can't do it. Why can't you do that?
Because of the evidence.
Right, so the only way that our beliefs change is based on a set of evidence that influences our beliefs.
Yes.
We don't have a choice about that. We can't choose what we believe. And you get a set
That's
of
the argument of determinism.
Yeah, of course. But you're telling me, I agree that's the argument for determinism, but you're telling me that you have got a God-given free choice. So therefore, you should be able to say, yes, I totally believe I was born in Edinburgh. You don't know you were born in London.
No. On certain issues, you're not going to change your belief.
No, anything. You cannot move your belief.
Okay. How about this?
Anything.
No. That's a good argument. That's a very good argument. I agree with that. That's what you're saying is that determinism can be proven through the fact that environmental factors determine, if you like, how you're going to conceive certain set propositions.
Well, that's true, but
that's qadr.
The opposite.
We believe in that.
Is that you can't demonstrate the opposite.
No problem. But within those parameters, if I go to a shop, that shop there.
Yeah.
All right, there's 2 or 3 options I have. I can get, what do you call it, a vanilla or strawberry or lemon, yeah? These are 3 options I can have. What I'm saying is, now, my choice is going to be limited to those 3 things. So either going to...
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your beliefs.
But even you could argue that even for example, if I choose lemon, because I like citric things, yeah? If I choose lemon, then that choice is predicated on my desire, which I had no control over.
Sure. That's a deterministic argument.
No problem.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's very good. But then here's the only thing that we have that's very good with determinism. The only thing on a philosophical level that we have to say that, okay, that's all well and good, but there's something here we have to look at, is the experiential nature from a first-person perspective.
But that's where I went back to my point, where you cannot demonstrate even the experiential nature.
No, you can't demonstrate it.
You can't demonstrate
me and you
that
agreed with that.
Well,
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty
Fine. But
difficult,
what I said to you was that it's first person, and there's no reason to devalue it because it's first person. It's undemonstratable.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about your first person belief.
No. You undemonstrate. You're right. You can't demonstrate on third person. On first person, you can.
For you to change your belief.
How I feel, for example, if I feel good, happy, sad, whatever, that's how I feel, right? That's first person.
Can you choose to feel happy when you're sad?
Sometimes it depends on the situation.
Illusion. You can't choose. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's illusory. You could argue that from that angle, it's all predicated on set of past things, right? Yeah, no, I get the argument.
And evidence, right?
The only thing, but that experience that you have, where you're choosing lemon over orange or orange over strawberry, cannot be negated.
No, I know, but I don't think this is a good.
But that on that moment where I'm choosing lemon over strawberries, for example.
Yeah.
Now I am choosing lemon over strawberries. Yeah, I am choosing that. I'm choosing lemon over strawberry.
How do you know?